I'm going to talk some more about analogs. This time we're going to deal with the analog outputs. We've done analog inputs. We've used the compute function. We've used the function block and the scaling. We've used the configuration parameters down here in the module itself. So we're going to do analog out. And there is a little trick to that, especially if you're using the function block scaling. You can still use the compute function. You'll have to write out the expression, the value you want as the input, running it to the output. So you're welcome to do that. We're going to go, I've got one made up already. So I created a tag, analog output channel 0, and you should make that in a controller tag so it's available for your whole program, not just anywhere else. It can be available. So down here it is. It's an alias for local 5, channel 0, data. I just called it AO underscore channel 0. You can call it what you want. So in the function block program, this was our function block program up here, scaling. I had this one, I'm leaving it there. And in this case, I took the input, I put it to a tag called water temp. So now, what do we do to, if we're going to drive something that needs a 4 to 20 milliamp or a 0 to 10 volt output signal, we've got to get an output to that. And this is going to be this analog output channel 0. So in this case, I'm just taking our temperature, which is right now 18, 20 going around. And just to make it different, I just added this add function. I'm going to double click on it, show you how it is. So it takes the source, whatever is going in, and I just put a constant of 15. We could have a different source, a different tag, but in this case, I just double clicked here, put 15 in, hit apply, hit OK, and so it don't show it here, but yeah. So you can see here that whatever this value is, as we're continually monitoring it, it adds 15 to it, and I use the scale function again, and I'm going to put it out here. So this is the value that's going out. It's nowhere near this. So what did I do? Okay, double click on the scale function. So similar to what we did before, but this is what you got to realize about the difference between scaling analog inputs and scanning analog outputs. All right, I made up a new scale. So instead of using the regular temperature scale, I'm going to use 0 to 100 because I did add some numbers to that, 15, but I just went ahead and spread it to 0 to 100, representing 0 to 100 degrees. All right, that is my input. And I put it in here, and then I had to put my engineering units down here. This is the actual value that we need to be, the range we need to send out. The analog card, if we go and look at module properties, you come down here, right click, properties, again, module properties, and go to channel 0. I didn't change anything in here. These are the default with the card. So a high signal of 20 milliamps, the engineering units are 8191, low signal is 1638. So this is the range this analog output card puts out. When you read it in, if you just monitor the value, it's going to put out 1638 if it was 4 milliamps. 8191 is equivalent of 20 milliamps. So that is what I did here. So I did it down here in the up here for the input card. You'll notice that the input raw max, that these were the values of the default in the default controller. So we go back and I look at properties for the input. I go to channels, and you can see we left channel 1. So channel 1 is with the engineering units. Okay, it can get a bit confusing, but going back, so in here, we received a value, and the card was going to read it in range of 16,383 to 3277, and we changed it to 10 degrees to 60 degrees. All right. Now, going to the output again, re-explain that. I had to reverse these two to get it to put out. So if it's seen 1638, the device that it was connected to would see 4 milliamps. If it got 8191, it would receive 20 milliamps. So that's the difference, is swapping these two from what it was with your input module. Okay, so we can go back in and we can go to controller tags. I've got it here. Right now it's on edit tags. Go to monitor tags, find my tag, and again, now we can see it's 63. It's going along with what the program is. All right, next thing we need to check, and hopefully this comes up, is, okay, yep, it's going to show. So going back into RS500, I can go just to verify. I can open this up. I got it in decimal. If it comes up in binary, change it to decimal. And now you can look that we should have had channel 0 of the compact logics tied to input 2.0. And there it is. There's that value there. So this is what this one is seeing. When we input that 4 to 20, we input that 4 to 20. We can go back up to I/O configuration. Oops. So go in here and you go to your analog configuration. We've got a 4 to 20 milliamp range. And if we check the data sheets, it would tell us what that range was. So that's why we get a different value, because this is a different type of analog input module than the ones on the compact logics. But again, going over here, and input 2.0 on our IF20F2 channel 2 output, that is that value we're sending out of the compact logics, and it is varying. So that's how to get started with doing one way. We'll come back and we'll go into here and we'll use a scale function within here on the RS500. But for now, let's get our program set up so we can scale an output and get it properly scaled properly in the compact logics and send it to the RS500.